What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Terrence, YouTube's news reporter. And if this is your first time here, man, make sure to like and subscribe button to become part of the family. Now, let's talk about episode 10. Episode 10 had a lot of moving parts, so we're just gonna hop straight into it. First, let's talk about Olivia. Olivia finally started her support group, and she saw a familiar face in Nurse Joy. And I really like Nurse Joy. Nurse Joy does not take any crap. She doesn't give Olivia any pity, any slack, any of that. She's on Olivia's ass. So, in the first meeting, she was like, hey, I see we have some newcomers. Does anyone want to speak up? And she looks directly at Olivia, and Olivia doesn't say anything. So after the class, she was like, listen, you're only going to help yourself if you speak up. So, she came out Olivia the first class. Then the second class, when Olivia finally spoke up and said something, and here comes Nurse Joy, cancels all the pity party and was like, listen, they weren't going to leave you. You were going to drink regardless. Stop making excuses and take responsibility for your own actions. And that's why I like Nurse Joy. Nurse Joy is going to tell you what you need to hear. Everyone needs that one person in their life that's going to give it to you straight up. They're not going to sugarcoat things. They're not going to baby you. And that's Nurse Joy. So, I think her finding Nurse Joy and joining the support group was the best thing that ever happened to Olivia. I mean, seriously, let's really think about it. Like, the rehab things clearly wasn't working. Olivia realized she needed someone who could check her. She doesn't need a friend. She needs someone like Nurse Joy in her life who's really going to push her to be better. Who's really going to push her to stop doing drugs or her addiction or however you want to put it. I think this duo is the perfect combination. Now, let's talk about Asher. I'm going to be brief about Asher because I don't really want to spend too much time on this. Asher and JJ, I don't know what's going on with that, but clearly Asher's trying to be a good friend and not steal Vanessa from JJ because JJ really actually does like Vanessa. But on the flip side, Vanessa likes Asher. So this whole situation right here is just messy. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I do feel like even though Asher's trying to be a quote-unquote better person, I still think he's going to end up hooking up with Vanessa before the season's over with. If not hooking up, at least he's going to kiss her. That's for sure. Now, let's move on from that and talk about Mo and Coop. Coop has been grilling Mo throughout the whole season and some of the last season, right? And rightfully so. She's Tyrone's sister. I wouldn't trust her either. But at the same time, this whole season, you know, the writers wrote it in a way where you feel like you can trust Mo. Mo's here to basically, I guess you say, rebuild the community, to, you know, undo all the wrongs that her brother did, and etc., etc. So, I'm thinking like, you know what, Coop, you tripping. I've been saying this for the past few episodes. If you've been following me, you know I've been saying Coop is tripping. But if you haven't been following me, I've been right there. I've been saying Coop is tripping, and I thought Mo was a good person, right? Wrong. Clearly, Mo has something up her sleeve. After Coop finally apologizes and admits she's wrong, you know, she walks away and thinks everything is copacetic, thinking everything is squashed. Then all of a sudden, one of Mo's peoples come over there and was like, what's that about? And she was like, she finally let down her guard. So I'm like, damn, Coop about to catch it, man. I don't know if Coop gonna get shot, she gonna get dealt with, you know, she gonna go to prison. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I feel like Preach is gonna come in once again and save the day because Preach and Mo have history. And he bangs with Coops. Coops is like his little sister. He's not gonna let anything happen to Coop. And I don't know what happened between him and Mo. Clearly, I think they have a past. He's a date or something. But I feel like he's gonna step in between because Mo's up to something and she's plotting on Coop to get revenge. So, man, we gotta keep our eye on this one, man, because we gotta put a pin in that one and come back to that. Now, let's talk about Jordan and Spencer. Both of them had huge games they had to worry about. So we're gonna focus on Spencer first. Spencer, he hasn't played well this whole season. Well, he had some good games, but you know, Crenshaw has been losing. He hasn't lived up to the hype. So finally, this episode, they get all their players back. All their players finally got their grades up, met the GPA requirements. So this was a huge game. They had to win. If they didn't win, they're not gonna make the playoffs. So Spencer has to have a great game in order for them to win. So during the first half of the game, Spencer really didn't have a good game. He wasn't doing Spencer-like stuff. So during halftime, Coach Baker gives a huge speech saying that, Corey is here right now. And, years ago during their homecoming, Corey broke the score record, scoring 7 touchdowns in one game. And Corey's legacy will always live on at Crenshaw as they're going to retire Corey's number 5 jersey, and on the field they put a number 5 logo in honor of Corey. So Corey's legacy is always going to be in the field at Crenshaw. So of course Spencer gets all emotional and he feels his dad is there. So Spencer turns it up during the second half and scores 7 touchdowns. And then on the last play, Spencer breaks out this long run and he can break his dad's record. But he decides to stop on the number 5 logo to share the moment with his dad. And that was a touching moment to see, just to see Spencer and his dad just having a moment one more time, even though he's not physically there, but spiritually he's there, and that was a touching moment. Now, on the flip side, Jordan was having a game of his life. He was out there crushing it. He had scouts there from Arizona State. Jordan was doing the damn thing. But then he got blindsided and he was put into a coma temporarily for maybe a few hours. But during that time, that's when things exploded. That's when his wife spilled the beans and told his parents that they were married. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like how Simone handled herself. She checked Jordan's mom. She checked her twice, actually. First time she checked her is when she told her that, hey, I'm the wife, and the wife outrules the parents. That was the first time she checked her, because she told her, listen, this doctor's trying to do his job. He's trying to tell us what's wrong with Jordan, but you keep asking these stupid questions and not letting him do his job. So she checked it the first time there. Then the second time, when Jordan's mom was chewing out Olivia and Spencer, she was like, listen, if you got beef with me, take it up with me. Don't take it out on them. They had nothing to do with this. And I'm like, yo, Simone, I like her, bro. She's like Nurse Joy. She does not play. And now I see why Jordan likes it, bro. I like her, I really do. I feel like her and Jordan's mom, they're going to bump heads, but they're going to eventually like each other because they're two strong-minded women, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like they're going to learn to get along just for Jordan's sake. I really do. But now, I really like Simone for checking her mom twice. So now the cat's out the bag. Everyone knows that Jordan and Simone are husband and wife. Now, after all that catastrophe happened, the doctor asked to speak to Jordan alone, and he told Jordan that, listen, you won't be able to play football for the rest of this year. And that's Jordan's final season. That's his only chance to get recruitment. So with that being said, so I feel for Jordan, but at the same time, I don't, because he rushes recovery. You should never rush your recovery, man. Clearly, you were still having symptoms, and now that you rushed it, you effed up your whole senior season. If you had just let yourself heal to the point where you are eligible to play again, then this might not have happened. So, do I feel bad for Jordan? 75% yes. The other 25% no, because he did it to himself somewhat, because he didn't let himself heal properly. So next episode, I'm curious about several things. One, obviously I'm curious about Jordan, what's going to happen with him. Two, I'm also curious about his sister. How is the relationship between her and Nurse Joy going to play out? I think it's a good thing. I really do. 3, Crenshaw is finally in the playoffs. Will Crenshaw make this long run where things work out? Or will Spencer not be a man of his word and Crenshaw end up losing in the playoffs and the school is officially gone? And then finally, I'm curious what's going to happen between Mo and Coop. Obviously, Mo has something up her sleeve. Well, I say that obviously. I do think Mo has something up her sleeve, and I feel like we should have listened to Coop the whole time. So I'm going to be the first one to admit that I was wrong. But in my defense, when I gave my prediction for this season, I did say watch out for Mo. So I went against my gut and I actually thought Mo was a good person. So we got to continue to watch that, man. But I'm very excited for episode 11. Hopefully things continue to go on the uprise. That is it, guys. But as always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And also make sure you hit that bell button in the corner to get notified when my videos published. Also, hop in the comment box, man. Let me know what you think about this episode, bro. Did you think episode 11 was good, bad, trash, whatever it may be, man? Hop in the comment box and we can talk about any and everything. Until next week, I'm going to catch y'all later.